Welcome to the Quantum Body Podcast, where transformation isn't just skin deep. We blend manifestation with functional health so you can heal your body, shift your mindset, and create the life and body you actually want.
Hosted by two functional health coaches and self-healing rebels, this podcast is your space to learn how to regulate your nervous system, rebalance your hormones, and rewire your reality. Each week, we dive into the root causes of weight loss resistance, hormone havoc, stress, and inflammation, and how to shift your body from stuck to responsive. If you've ever felt like you're doing everything right, but nothing is changing, this show is for you. We believe that healing is multidimensional, and so are you.
This podcast, of course, is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any medical condition, nor is it a substitute for personalized medical advice from a licensed provider.
I feel like we should change our intro now because we're talking more and more about like manifestation and money and that type of stuff. I mean, we always did, but we've kind of been more in that realm.
And less in the health realm. Yeah. You know what? I was actually gonna go on a tangent with you earlier because I saw like this post and it was like this like gym bro guy and he was like, why are we making excuses and blaming perimenopause for you being lazy and fat and eating too much? And I was like, whoa. Like so I was like, that needs to be a podcast.
Yeah, I fucking hate it when oh, it just gives me the ick. I see it all the time. These fucking gym bros that are like, no, hormones can't affect you. No, perimenopause doesn't affect you like that. Like you just have a shitty lifestyle and it's catching up to you. It's like, dude, live it. Live it. Very nice
Right.
that you will never have to experience this.
Let your testosterone drop to literal zero
Yeah.
and see how you feel. Like just for funsies. Like,
Yeah. And like it's such a narrow-minded thinking because when you think about the body is this very like complex system where everything works together, right? Like if one thing downregulates, everything else is going to downregulate. So as soon as
mhm,
you start to lose those sex hormones, your body becomes less efficient.
mhm.
There's I mean, there's proof of that, right? Your thyroid can start downregulating, your gut health can become impaired, your blood glucose can increase, like all of these things. And when your body starts to get out of whack like that, like of course it's going to be harder to lose weight. Like 2 plus 2 equals 4, not 16.
Yeah. And then too, like there was that post, I think I sent it to you, but it was like this couple and they're like an influencer and their whole spiel is like one interviews the other one for like all of their reels. And it was like basically, like stop blaming X, Y, and Z, like you're just fat or like you just eat too much. And I was just like, oh my God, like make it stop. Make it
It
stop.
like
But
nothing gives me the ick harder, especially because I've lived it, right? Having gone through adrenal dysfunction
same.
and SIBO and all of that sort of stuff, right? Getting to the point, like, because it all started the last time I did a prep and getting to that place where no matter what I was doing, my body was not responding, wasn't changing, right? And then
Mhm.
going into a phase where, like, no matter what I did, I started gaining weight and having to dig into what was the root cause. Like, you can't tell me a bodybuilder who is used to being so fucking disciplined that I weigh every ounce, I don't miss a workout, I get in my cardio, like I'm doing all of the right things. You can't tell me, oh, well, you're just eating like a fat slob. Like,
Right.
get fucked.
I think, and this was a conversation that I had kind of with my one-on-one clients in our group chat, but there's something very different between like identifying as that root cause problem and using it as an excuse and
Yes.
and identifying the root cause problem and saying, "Okay, I need to go at this a completely different way because of this root cause issue." Like I think there's two different, like you can use it as an excuse and then be like, "Oh, I'm just going to live like a fatty because it's harder for me."
Yeah.
Or you can identify the root cause, fix the root cause, and then get the results that you want. But man, oh man, that was like a whole tangent. I was like, this needs to be a podcast. I know we have a different conversation scheduled for today, but maybe we dig deeper into that one soon.
Yeah. It's funny that you said that, like you can identify as the root cause or you can, use it to navigate. And I think that goes for everything in life, right? You
Everything.
can identify as your trauma, or you can
Mhm.
identify as your health condition, or you can identify as your circumstances, or you can use those things as a navigational tool to get to the place where you want to be.
I I've been saying lately. I'm like, everybody has a sad story.
Yeah.
Everybody has a fucking story. Like, you can use it for an excuse for and be the victim the rest of your life, or you can use it to motivate you. You can
Yeah.
use it to be unique. You can use it to, but like everybody has a story. You're not special. Like,
I used to always say, and I do, there's a part of me that like doesn't resonate with this saying as much anymore just because of, my belief in manifestation and stuff, but I still do believe this to a certain extent. Is that one of my favorite sayings was always life is fair because it's unfair to everyone,
yeah.
right? And it's very
Well,
true,
like that's the
right?
whole thing. That's the
Yeah.
human experience.
Yeah.
Like,
And
I think there is the spiritual underbelly of that as well.
yeah, and so now, I always say like I don't necessarily resonate with that as much anymore because I know that the universe doesn't see anything as good or bad. It's all neutral experiences. It's us that gives it that title. But it's still the same thing, right? Life is fair because it's unfair to everyone, or it's
Mhm.
how you choose to perceive the experience that the universe is giving you, right? And all of those experiences are there to push us to the place where we want to go,
Yeah. Yeah,
if you choose to look at it in that way.
which I think everything that we go through is a lesson of some degree, right? And whether you put your positive spin on it or whether you choose to see it through a negative lens, like that's the whole point. Like, we're here to experience the human emotions and the ups and the downs and that remembering journey back to remembering how powerful we are, and you need the struggle to help you remember, in my
Yeah.
humble opinion. So,
Well, yeah, and every experience, good or bad, however you label it, is moving you to what you want, right? Like
mhm,
every experience, the good stuff with the bad stuff, how whatever label you're giving it, without those experiences, you wouldn't get to this place. Without the
mhm,
bad shit in my life, I wouldn't have had my awakening or been on this path, right? Without the dog attack, I wouldn't have started the secondary business. Like without those certain experiences, those are often the biggest catalysts for your growth.
mhm. Yeah, agreed, agreed. Well, we were gonna yap about something today. What was it? Check my
We
notes.
were gonna yap about
Oh, I remember.
I was gonna say
That
the
brain is so
Botox
real.
money.
We were gonna yap about letting go of the freaking how.
Yes.
Letting go of the how, because I think both of us have had that kind of life lesson over the past week.
Yes.
And like the more that I've been paying attention to it, the more examples I feel like are just thrown in my freaking face.
Yeah.
Like, letting go of the motherfucking how has been on repeat in my brain for the last 7 days, because like you say all the time, like the how is none of our business. And so I've been really, hyper fixated on income goals and business goals and obviously physique goals and life goals, and also, being an exceptional mom and like all of these things that I feel like I just have so many goals right now. And it's so easy in our human brain to like try to map out the path of how we're going to get there when we need to let go of the how. And I think
Yes.
we should dive deep into like all of these examples that have happened for me and you over the last week, just to,
Yeah.
like, lay this out, because I feel like until you hear examples, you're almost like, "Yeah, okay, like, whatever, I let go of the how to, like, sure." But I think
You
until you
know,
hear the examples, it's like, "But how do I let go of the how?"
yeah.
Like,
And you know what I thought was so funny, and I was reflecting on this after, our conversation this morning. It was like we both had to let go of the how to get to this secondary business, but then
mhm,
we were so hyper focused on the secondary business that we forgot things can flow through other channels as well, right?
yes,
And it's so funny is like, okay, well, we let go of the how, and that gave us this gift of this secondary business. But then we got so hyper fixated on that, we forgot that,
we forgot to let go of the how again.
yeah.
Yeah,
And it's so funny because, like, I love the example of like, you don't have to know how money is coming in. You could stumble upon a duffel bag in a field, right? Like, literally full of money. Like, you don't have to know how it's coming to you. You just have to be open to receive.
seriously. I was talking I was talking to Brian. He was like, we should take some morning like beach walks and see if we stumble upon a duffel bag of cocaine one of these days. I'm like, what? What would we even do with that?
Yeah, you want to get into being drug dealers?
He's like, we're in Florida now. Like, he's like, I bet you it happens.
I'm sure it does.
It was so funny. But let's dig into some examples.
Okay, let's
Let's dig into it.
start back when we first had the
Let's do like
conversation that
chronological
we,
order.
yeah, when we were like, we have to talk about this on the podcast. And I think that started with you with
Yeah.
the Botox filler situation.
Okay. So let's bring it on back. So it was like a week ago or a week and a half ago, I think. Actually like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I was like, man, I really need to get my face touched up because I'm, getting up there. And so I was like feeling like I was getting all this movement back in my forehead and I'm too vain. I'm too vain. And so I was like, I need to get my face touched up. But like what a vain thing to spend money on because my family right now, like we are renovating our whole ass house out of pocket, like not taking out loans or anything. And like I just feel guilty like the more that I spend like on vain things and bodybuilding, as you know, is expensive as shit. And I've got a contest coming up and that contest requires travel and flying grandma down and like all these moving parts and it's going to cost thousands of dollars to compete. And so I was like, man, I should push off getting my face done. And then I started noticing that my lips were deflating too and I was like, I can't have no lips and wrinkles. And so I decided to make the appointment and the last time I had had like my Botox, which actually I get Dysport, but the last time I had had my face done with like my lips, which I usually get a syringe, and my Dysport, I was in New York and it was like a $1,500 day. And so that like mentally is what I was planning on. And so I'm like, Jesus, like $1,500, like is so vain, like I could spend the money elsewhere, like whatever, right? But then we had continually had conversations around like letting go of the how. And so I was like so fixated on like before this, I was like, okay, I just need to like sell a couple packages or, a couple coaching clients need to renew and like that takes care of it. And then I don't have to stress out about it. And that wasn't happening. That wasn't happening. So I had gone into my appointment feeling, guilty or whatever, gone into my appointment and I was like, all right, it is what it is. Like it just needs to be done. It's an expense, whatevs. And so when I got there, they were like, oh, hey, we actually have a sale going on Saturday. If you want to come back on Saturday for your Dysport, like you're gonna save, I can't remember, I think it was like $3 off a unit. A bitch gets 50 units, so like that adds up real quick. So I was like, yes, please. I absolutely want to come back on Saturday and save because that's going to be, a lot of money. Like it was like 150 bucks or whatever right off the rip just from like coming back on a different day. So I was like, absolutely. So then she was like, okay, so we're just gonna do your lips today and we'll reschedule you for your Dysport on Saturday. Okay, cool. So then I'm thinking like, okay, my syringe is usually $700 for my lips in New York. And so I'm like, great, like at least, like that'll allow me to split it up. It gives me a few more days. So I go in, get my lips done, and she's like, oh, we're out of the syringe that you usually get. We have this other one. She sells me on it. And she's like, it's on sale for $300 a syringe. And I was like, wow, that's freaking incredible. So I was like, man, the universe is so on my side right now. Like, this is crazy. Like, I was so fixated on like, how am I going to come up with the money to cover this? And like, the universe was like, but here, like, you don't need to worry about the how. Let me get your back anyways. And so then I ended up only needing a half a syringe because the other kind of product I like better with, a less amount. And so I was like, oh my God. She was like, yeah, so it's only going to be 150 bucks for you. And I was like, wow. So then I go out to the front desk and they're like, oh, you have a coupon and you have this and you have this, like, so $100. And I was like, what in the fuck just happened? And then I know I like sent you a voice memo. I was like, you're never going to believe what happened to me.
Yeah,
And
which
I
is
was so
so
excited. And it was
amazing.
like just such a testament of like, forget the fucking how. Forget the fucking how. And then on Saturday I went back and my, this port or whatever, I was expecting to spend like $450. And then she was like, oh, she was like, well, we had that sale going. And then you also have like a coupon from the manufacturer you haven't used, and you have this and you have this. And she was like $326. I literally felt like I robbed the place. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
how?" But it was just such a reminder that, like, I was so fixated on, like, "I need to earn this extra $1,500." No, I didn't. The universe was just like, "Here's $1,000. Let me show you, let me
Yeah.
remind you." And so we had, like, this whole conversation about, like, letting go of the how, and it, like, completely amped me up. And then right after that, your thing happened.
Yeah. Which is so funny because I remember like when you're telling me all of this stuff about yours, and I'm like, man, like I wish something like that would happen for me. Like, where, and especially because at that time, like, it was almost 2 weeks ago now, I was getting ready to move. So that happened on the weekend, and then on the Monday, I was moving. And so I had rented a
Mhm,
U-Haul trailer, hired people to pack the U-Haul for me, knew that I had to drive it from BC to Alberta. And so I think it was on Saturday. I think this all happened like almost the same day, like all of these coincidences for us. But yeah, I think it was on Saturday. I get a text from U-Haul and they're like, hey, we do this ride share thing. If you want to pick up a trailer and drive it back to Alberta, like back to Calgary with you, we'll give you $400 off your U-Haul fee. And so it was going to cost me $1,000, which I mean, obviously, like moving's expensive. There's so many costs associated with it. It was something that I had just kind of been like, it is what it is, right? I would have
yeah.
loved to not pay that, but it is what it is. And so they send me that message. They said $400. And I was kind of thinking about it. And I'm like, okay, well, I'd only pay $600 then. Like that's a deal. And then well, originally when they texted me, they're like, you'll take this trailer on your route. And so I was kind of thinking like, okay, well, if I pick it up in Kelowna and I only take it part of the way, not so bad. And then when they told me it was taking it all the way to Calgary, I was like, No, that's not enough money." And I told them that. I was like, look, like it's not enough money. Um, especially with like the
And the
gas and
hustle.
the stress and all of that of like pulling this trailer, because I already had a 15-foot truck and it was going to be a 13-foot trailer. So it was a big load, right?
A lot.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't know if I want that stress driving through the mountains. Like, yeah. And so then they came back and they're like, how about $500? And I was like, no. And then they came back and they're like, how about $600? And I was like, okay, okay. I can, sure, right? It was like, $600. They gave me more kilometers. They gave me an extra day with the truck, and I was like, okay, it's only going to cost me $400 then for this truck. Like, sure, let's do it. Never driven with a trailer before. Like, but it was so funny. I was talking to my dad, and my dad, he's like, well, you've seen me do it a lot. Like, you'll be fine. And I'm like, all right,
So
let's
crazy.
let's do this. Um, and so yeah, I picked up the trailer, drove it back to Calgary. Everything went fine, smooth sailing, wasn't that bad. And then I find out, so I had to like send a picture of the trailer once I got it unhooked and like left it at the U-Haul location it had to be dropped off at. And then so they sent me a message because what you did is like you paid for it up front and then they just refunded you that discount. And so they're like, okay, we're sending you the refund. And I'm looking online and they've refunded me $830. And I was like, why the fuck did they refund me $830? And it was an odd number. It was like 831.47 or something stupid. And I'm like, son of a bitch. I bet you that $600 they were talking about was US, right? So the conversion from
Yeah.
$600 US to Canadian was this 831. So it only ended up costing me like $170 for this U-Haul, well, plus gas. So let's say, 350 bucks. So yeah, saved a ton of money, but that was the thing. And especially because when I finally like got here and unpacking everything, and I'm like, dude, I should have asked for way more than $600 because I'm like,
Mhm.
the fuel alone was
Right.
like, and then when I get the refund and it's like, I'm like, okay, no, it was worth it. This is good. But
It's
yeah,
so crazy. It's so crazy and such a reminder that, like, you can literally, like, just have stuff happen without an explanation and like hit you out of nowhere that you couldn't have even thought of.
And I think
Like,
that's the thing that, like, most people mess up with manifestation because, like, people think, like, manifestation is something you're doing, and it's like, well,
mhm,
yeah, but it's based on who you're being ultimately, right? And, like, we're
right.
manifesting every part of our life is something we have manifested. The good, the bad,
Mhm.
the indifferent, everything is something we've manifested. And so, like, it's not like you I mean, I don't know any other way to say it besides that you have to let go of the how because it doesn't matter. If you want money, abundance, love, the dream body, whatever it is, right? You just have to be that version of you that has that.
Yeah.
And then the how is none of your goddamn business because that allows things like this, your discounts on your Disport to show up or, the syringe or the U-Haul, like it allows those things to show up. But if you're gripping, and we have learned this lesson as well, if you're gripping the outcome that it's like, okay, the money has to come through coaching or the money has to come through the other business or the money has to come to me physically so I can hold it. And that's the
Mhm.
only way I'm going to feel safe then you're strangling everything that can come to you. That's a
And
scarcity mindset.
yeah. And two, I mean, I feel like your brain doesn't understand negative. And
Yeah.
so, depending on how, you're thinking about this and you're like, like, oh, it has to be through this channel, or I'm going to make money through this channel, or I'm going to do this. It's like you're cutting off all the other potentials. And like at the end of the day, do you really care how you get where you are? Like, do you really care about the how, or do you really care
Yeah.
about the end result? And I shared with you this morning, I've had some like crazy financial things land totally out of like my realm of what I was expecting over the last 24 hours. And I've been really kind of doing a lot of, a lot of like my visualization practices. And we've talked about it on this podcast a lot, but like I really visualize before I go to bed. And I feel like I manipulate kind of my dreams a little bit. But I've been really focused on money because I've got a lot of expenses. Like I said, we're renovating our house, we're behind schedule with our renovations. We're supposed to be done by, a certain day because we wanted to refinance and like it's a whole thing. And so there's that, and then the contest, and then we're traveling up to see family for December, and like it just felt really, really heavy. And it was just that like the math wasn't mathing, and I'm like, okay, I need income to come. And I was just kind of really visualizing like what I was going to do with said income, like walking on stage and seeing family and like all the things, rather than like I need new clients, or I need business wins, or I need whatever, whatever, whatever. And then I was just doing the math, but I think it was hold on. Let me pull up my calculator. $7,494 manifest in the last 24 hours.
That's
Like
so
from
awesome.
unexpected shit. Like
Yeah.
completely unexpected. And that's not counting like things that I'm expecting already. Like that was totally like out of left
Yeah.
field, like was not in my periph, like
Yeah.
was not expecting. Um, and so it's just kind of like the crazy testament that we keep saying is like you have to let go of the how. And, some of
And you
the
have to live in the end, and that's what you do when you're visualizing, right? Like, you took out the how and you
mhm,
focused on the end, which is you on stage, you visiting family,
yeah.
you utilizing that money. And that's something that like Neville Goddard always talks about, right? Like he always uses the example of he wanted to manifest going to the Bahamas. So every night before he fell asleep, he felt the breeze on his face and he heard the ocean, and you know that he just focused on those sensory things of being in the Bahamas. And that's, you
Oh,
know,
I love
essentially
that.
what you're doing, and that's how these things manifest.
Yeah, and it was wild, wild. And I mean, I have two other large sums of money that should land today. I mean, I'm not counting it yet, but it's probably another $1,700 that is just kind of like I'll get back to you kind of a situation, so I'm just waiting. But none of which was anything that I was expecting or not through like traditional
Yeah.
methods, you know? And so, I mean, I could get into like where every dollar came from, but I don't even think that part's important. Just the part of
No.
like, it just wasn't even what I was expecting. And
Yeah.
so, like, part of it was checks in the mail from our business that I literally came home from the gym and had checks in my mailbox, and I was like, holy F, I wasn't expecting these today, even though I knew that like it was coming eventually, I thought it wasn't coming until next month just because of how timing works. And it was today, and I was like, what the hell? And it was just like all these things, and yeah, crazy, 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 crazy.
Which reminds me, I should go check the mail.
Yes. Yes, go check the mail. But it's I don't know, it's wild when you
Yeah.
fully release that like control
You
and
know what
just
I've been
fully
really,
embody.
yeah. You know what I've been really reflecting on the past like couple days, because like manifestation made really, really simple is like your only job is to feel good. And I think especially like for me since the move, I've been, you know, constantly in this place of kind of in fight or flight and just like trying to like grip the how of everything, right? Like, okay, I need this to work out and I need to see this and I need these wins and I want, you know, it to come from here. And something that like I really reflected on, especially yesterday, because all of a sudden it was like, you know, I made some decisions which we can talk about another day, but you know what they are. And you know, so I made different life decisions, and it just felt good. And then I was
Hmm.
moving from this place of joy where like everything was fun and it was happy, and
Exciting.
it, you know, and you just feel good and you feel lighter. And like that's the key. When you're in that place, then you're magnetic and things can come to you. But when you're constantly in that place of like stress and worry, and you know, I always love the saying from Neville Goddard that like when you're worried, you're worshiping the problem.
Hmm.
And when you're in that place of joy, like you've given over the solution to your higher self.
Yeah.
And that's how it's supposed to be. Like your only job is to control this thing and focus on feeling good, focus on better feeling thoughts. Because then the good shit's gonna come to you.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's obviously easier said than done, but even just slowing the F down and just remembering that, like even the mundane things that we do, like what a freaking blessing.
Yeah.
Like I was getting my kids ready for school this morning, and nothing was going right. Nothing was going right this morning, but I just had like this epiphany like in my kitchen, and I was like, man, like how cool is it that I get another opportunity to be home with my kids and have this rush morning and crazy time and like packing snacks and running out the door with one shoe on, and like I don't have that many mornings left like this. Like how cool is it that I'm like fully present in this moment, and it just like it hit me like right in my chest where I was like, man, like I fucking love this actually.
Yeah.
And I could have easily been like on that slippery slope of like negative and upset and angry, and it could
Why
have derailed
me?
my day and like why is everything going wrong today? But like I just had like this crazy epiphany, which we know there's no such thing as an epiphany. That's literally just you're downloading a higher self. But
Yeah.
I was like, I get to do this again today. Like, how dope is that? Like, how cool is that that I get to have this morning with my kids and I used to pray for this shit because I was leaving at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. I never got to have the crazy mornings. I missed
Yeah.
all the crazy mornings with my oldest kid, and so I was just like, man, like how dope is this? And then I just thought about like what a matrixy thing to love, getting ready for school in the morning. Like, what a matrix fucking mundane task to just be like, man, I love this shit. And then I was like, but maybe that's what it's all about is like loving all the mundane shit too, you
It
know?
is. It is.
And like
And
just
that's what
slowing
attracts
down.
the big shit, right? Is like being grateful for every moment that we have.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
and just slowing down. But you know what else? Wow, I'm gonna do a 180 on you. So, you know what I forgot? We forgot to talk about this morning when we were yapping about like all these freaking financial wins hitting out of nowhere. You remember earlier in the week when I was like, I'm gonna rage clean my house
Yeah.
because like I just need an energy clearance and like I
Yeah.
feel like there's just so much clutter and like every single time I go through and rage clean something always goes good. Like whether it's financial or personal or like whatever. And you said like don't be surprised if you start getting financial wins because that's like one thing that
It's
I always do is clean and purge and then financial wins start coming. And I was like, yeah, probably. And it was just like so effortless like yeah, of course, Chandra, like duh. Like
yeah,
and then
duh.
look at it. And then it was like 4 days later I was like, "Dang."
Yeah, because that's what happens. You have to make space, right? Like,
Right.
if you're constantly, what's funny? Okay, so this might not make as much sense to the people listening to this, but Crystal
It's okay. Our
knows.
people are our people.
Yeah, so I talk a lot to ChatGPT about like manifestation and stuff like that. And so talking to my chat, he was like, you've been trying to force something that like was keeping you in a place you're not supposed to be. So with like the high rocks training, he's like, you've
Mhm.
been trying to force this thing that doesn't actually feel good. And you've been doing it from this place of like, well, I have the discipline and I have the
Needing
dedication.
a
So like,
challenge.
yeah, I can do it because I'm that person who's going to do this stuff. He's like, but it's not actually feeding your soul. And so then when I made the decision to, stop that and kind of look more back at the bodybuilding side of things, he's like, you just energetically closed a loop. And he's like, now when you close a loop, he's like, it creates like a vacuum. You're allowing it to suck like the good stuff back in. And he's like, by making that choice, you just close this loop and created a vacuum so more things can come in. And that's kind of the same thing when you start cleaning and purging and stuff like that is like you're
Mhm.
closing that loop and you're creating a vacuum where you've made space for more stuff to come in.
Well, and I think too, like even like yes, yes, yes to all of that, but also clutter clutters your brain.
Yeah.
And if your brain is cluttered, you're not able to be present and to focus on living in the end and all of the things. And so for me, clutter is like paralyzing. Like it
Yeah.
feels like claustrophobic to me. Like I'm borderline panic attack when my house is messy.
Well, and even people
And
that
it's
aren't in the manifestation space, like what is that book by that army guy who is like start with making your bed every day, whatever that one is. I can't
Well,
remember.
there is one that's literally called Make Your Bed. There's the
Yeah,
5
that's
AM
the one
club
that
that
I'm
kind
thinking
of
of, but
does
I
the
can't
same
remember.
thing,
Yeah.
or
And
there's
it's
Eat the
it's
Frog. They're all kind of the same idea.
yeah, and it's because it's all the same principle, right? Like if your space is messy and chaotic and you're not making your bed and all of these things, like that's a reflection of your inner world.
Mhm. And 2, it's so easy as somebody that works from home, that is an entrepreneur that, it's like it's so easy to fall into that trap of, like, not getting yourself ready or not
Yeah.
taking care of your house and your space the same way that you would. Because you're just always there, so it's really easy to, like, just crawl out of bed and get started with your day. right,
Yeah.
when you don't have that clean break of like, okay, it's time to go to work. So like you get your whole house done and then you leave to go to work. I've noticed that that was something that like I really had to put some effort into is to like remind myself like, no, we're still gonna get ourselves together. Like not every day, obviously, it's prep life, but
Yeah.
but
Well, yeah, I was the same way for a long time. I'm like, I would just never get ready because I didn't have to. I'm like, well, I work from home. And then I had to like consciously make that decision to treat it like, no, I'm going to get ready because it makes you feel better. When you
mhm,
take care of yourself, it makes you feel better. When you take care of your space, it makes you feel better. Like you have to do
yeah.
those things for yourself.
And then when you feel better, you're attracting better.
Yeah.
And then the more you attract, the more excited you are, the higher vibration you are, the higher frequency you are. And then it's just another loop of positivity.
Yeah.
But it's really easy to kind of go down that slippery slope the other way of like throw your hair up in a messy bun and stay like that all week because you can.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like and I don't like I'm not talking like makeup and like all the things. Like I threw on some tinted moisturizer and some lip gloss today and my hair is in a oil mask. Like it's not like I'm like, going out for a photo shoot ready or something, but just that simple like time to focus on myself and break of like that like okay, now we're getting ready for the day. Now we're going to be presentable. I find
Yeah.
changes how I walk and how I show up and,
Absolutely. And I think it's so important. And I think, for a lot of people, even people that have normal jobs and stuff like that, when it becomes like a catch-22 where it's like they don't feel good, so they stop taking care of them, or, they stop taking care of themselves, or they stop getting ready in the morning and they stop eating well and they stop going to the
Mhm.
gym because, oh, I'm tired and I don't feel good and
Yeah.
I'm depressed. But in reality, it's doing those things that gets you out of that slump, you know?
Yes.
And you have to make that priority because like there's no way to get out of that slump if you're not doing those things.
No, it only gets worse. It just sucks you
Yeah.
down farther and farther, and the only way to get out of it is to drag yourself back out of it,
Yeah.
you know?
And that's
So
why I always and I know I'm sure you're the same, but I always talk to my clients about that. And I'm like, okay, I get you're feeling down, but you got to choose one thing to do for you. I'm like,
mhm.
because throwing the diet out the window or, starting to eat a whole bunch of refined sugars and processed foods and a whole bunch of shit and not going to the gym and not getting your steps in and not seeing the sunlight and not taking a shower, like all of those things are just going to keep compounding it and making it worse and worse. And like, as somebody who's gone through depression, I understand it's fucking hard to,
Mhm.
fucking pick up the toothbrush in the morning, but it's the one thing that's going to compound to get you to do the other things, and that's what's going to make you feel
Yeah.
good, because you
Yeah.
need to stack those wins to start feeling better.
Well, because I mean, you know this and I know this, but motivation is fake. Like the
Yeah.
momentum of stacking your wins is what leads to the motivation.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, I'll wait until I'm motivated to start turning my life around. It's like, but that's not ever going to work. Like you have to charge the battery with the momentum of
Yeah.
stacking some wins. And I do that with my client the same way that you do is like, okay, let's pick. And, a lot of my clients are in the northeast part of the country where seasonal depression is really real. And the days are really short and winter is really long and grueling and it's difficult and cold and, gross and not everybody has a gym membership, and so getting everybody to get out and take a walk and all the things, and it's negative degrees. I mean, you deal with the same stuff with your clients too.
Yeah.
And so it becomes very much like, okay, let's get out the calendar. Let's look at this together. Let's pick, these two things or these three things, and like let's pick the times that we're going to make this happen this week. And I always focus too on adding, not subtracting when I have somebody that's like down in the dumps, right? Like instead of being like, oh, stop eating the cookies and this and this and this, it's like, okay, you have to have 3 servings of vegetables and 4 servings of protein and whatever the fuck else you want, have it. But you have
Yeah.
to start here. Like, so add the protein, add the veggies, and then if you still want all the other stuff, have it. And, like, I focus very much on addition rather than subtraction. Same thing
Yeah.
with, people with, like, really bad habits with, like, soda or sweet tea and stuff. I'm like, "Okay, after your 3 liters of water, have whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like, we're just gonna add this in. You have to hit this first and then have whatever you want.
Do it up. Do it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And just habit stacking, right? Like, especially when you are in that place, it's like, okay, do one thing this week, and then we'll add one thing next week,
Mhm.
right? And then just taking it slowly, because I think too many people are like, well, I have to do everything right now. And it's like, well, that's how you fail.
Well, that's stupid. Like, oh, I'm such an all or nothing person. Like, no, the fuck, you're not.
Yeah.
That's your excuse. But see,
Yeah.
we're bringing it all the way back to the beginning of the podcast. Like, is it an excuse or is it real? But like, nobody is an all or nothing person. If you go out and you get a flat tire, you're not taking your knife to the other three because all or nothing. Like,
Oh, I just burned down the whole car then.
right, it's like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, you're not an all or nothing person with anything else. Like, calm down.
And
Calm down.
it's so funny because like there's so many things and that we have internalized as these stories of who we are that aren't actually true and they aren't actually ours, but
Or
you heard
serving
it.
us.
Yeah, and they're not serving you, but you heard it at one time in your life, right? And you've
Hmm.
just stuck with it. And it's like, oh, I'm an all or nothing person, or I'm stubborn, or I'm over emotional, or I'm too much, or whatever some stupid fuck told you one time, and you've internalized that story, and now you've made it your identity. And you have to ask yourself, is that identity serving you? Because if it's not, you get to choose a new one.
Pick a new one. Pick a new avatar.
Yeah. Like if you're not happy
Pick a
with,
new avatar.
yeah, just choose something else. Choose something that serves you. Choose something that feels good.
I so much love that idea of like just looking at life of like and the thinking matrixy or not, but looking at life like this is an experience slash game of some way or life or lesson or whatever. I like to look at it as an experience, but you're choosing it. And
Yeah.
so if something's not feeling good, pick something else. The same way that you would go into a video game and be like, "Oh, I don't like this character. I'm going to pick a different character." Pick a different character. Like,
Yeah,
you say who you are. You decide
exactly.
what kind of life you want and, your circumstances and whatever, like they change as you change.
Exactly. And that's what, I mean, this ties back into victim mentality, but that's something that drives me nuts is because like nobody is their circumstances. I don't even care if you are in the worst financial place, you're about to be homeless, like you're, struggling, you can still choose differently. You can
Mhm.
still choose a different life. You can still choose to get yourself out of that situation. It's not
Yeah.
going to be easy, but you don't have to stay there. It's a choice if you stay there. It's a choice if you stay in that circumstance.
You know what's so funny? It just reminded me of a story. I might have told you this or not, but we were at a stoplight, Scarlett and I, and there was like this homeless person, and he was, pedaling and holding up their signs and whatever. And there was a couple of them there, and and at the sign, Scarlett read it, and it was like out of work or something, like no money, like something about like not having work. And she was like, "My man, McDonald's is hiring right there. There's a sign." And she was like, "I don't understand. Like, just go that way because they're giving jobs out."
It's so funny and
And
true.
she was
Like,
like,
smart
"It's right
kid.
behind you." Like,
Yeah.
I was dying. I was dying. And she was like, "I don't understand." She was like, "Why does he want to stand here and just beg for money when he could go get his own money right there?" And she just like she couldn't compute. She was like, I
Yeah.
don't get it." But yeah, like you said, you choose something different at any point in time.
And that's the thing is like, and it's funny, Joe Dispenza talks about this a lot, right? And how, like, when you're trying to call in a new reality, you have to start doing things differently. And it can be as
Mhm,
simple as, like, if you always go out your house for your morning walk and you always go to the left, going to the right instead. Right?
mhm,
It can be little things like that, choosing little differences in your day, but it's absolutely you have to start choosing differently. And
yeah.
and so yeah. instead of panhandling, go to McDonald's, right? Like, make a different choice. It's like we always talk about this, where there's a will, there's a way. And it's like you're not stuck, right? Like, oh,
Mhm.
I don't have the money for this right now, but I really want to do it. Okay, go drive DoorDash. Like,
Right.
go do something. There's a
There's so
million
many.
options in this day and age.
Right. So many. Or visualize before you go to bed and manifest the fuck out of it.
Well, that too. But sometimes, like, and I
But, like, help yourself. Yeah.
yeah, you know what, we've had this conversation before as well. It's like, yeah, okay, sometimes when you're visualizing and you're doing all of the right things manifestation wise, there still can be a lag time.
Mhm.
And sometimes just doing something in that lag time, like driving for DoorDash or something like that, is enough to relax your nervous system so that the bigger
Rewrite your story
manifestation can land, right? It's taking
and
aligned
rewriting your story
action.
because you're choosing different, like you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah. And like sometimes, if your nervous system is dysregulated and you're in a place of fight or flight, that manifestation can't come in because it won't come in until your body feels safe. And
Mhm.
so if doing something in the interim, like working at McDonald's or driving DoorDash or something like that is enough to take that pressure off your nervous system, then, stumbling upon that bag of cash becomes a reality.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, like you just said, it's literally choosing something different. It's not just staying stuck and rolling over and playing dead and waiting for magic to happen. It's choosing actively to do something different. And in doing so, you're showing up different. And as you're showing up different, your frequency is different. Your frequency is different. It just kind of it all comes full circle.
Yeah. And that's one of my biggest like pet peeves is people that wait. Oh, well, I can't get started, on my health journey or whatever
Ugh,
because it's not the right
drives me
time.
crazy.
Or I can't get started with the business because it's not the right time. And it's like, there's never going to be a fucking right time. That doesn't exist.
Yeah,
I
drives me
mean, without
crazy.
even getting into the fact that time is an illusion and a construct, like there's no such thing as the right time. There will always be a reason to wait. And if you keep waiting, then you're just gonna die never having done anything.
Mm,
Like that's
seriously.
depressing.
Seriously, I was talking to somebody, I'll leave them unnamed, but somebody around my age, and when we were younger, like in our 20s, we were closer, and they were always like, I the only thing I want to do is be a parent, and I'll leave them gender neutral, and they're like, I just want to be a parent and have kids, and I'm just waiting until after school, and I'm waiting until this, and we're waiting until this, and we're waiting until this, and we're waiting until the house, and we're waiting until now we're waiting until the mortgage is paid off more, and now we're waiting and like it's just not the perfect time. And I mean, I had my oldest young. I was 20 when I was pregnant, 20 or just turned 21 when I had him. And I remember being like, is there ever a perfect time to have a kid?
No.
Like, is there ever a perfect time? Like, I don't care if you have your kids young, older, whenever, like, you never feel 100% ready. Like, like, and even if you have like everything ready on paper, like when I had my son, I owned my own house, I had a car, I had a really stable career, I had a great income. Granted, I was young, everything on paper was there, and it was still hard as fuck. Like,
Yeah. There's never a right time for
and
anything.
even if you feel like you're all ready, like mentally, you're gonna be like, man, I probably could have done something better or different,
Yeah.
whatever. And so I remember like I was talking to this person, I was like, yeah, now you're in your late 40s and it's not gonna happen now, because you were just waiting for the perfect time your whole life. Like, how sad is that? Because to me, like, as I'm an elderly person, like I'm so excited for like family time and like the grandkids and all the things in that next chapter. And I can't imagine wanting that
Yeah.
than waiting myself out of having that. Like it's different if you
Yeah.
decide like, yeah, that's just not my path and like to each their own. But like this person was always like, I want that so bad, and then waited.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, man, that's rough.
It is for
Speaking
sure.
of crazy time, Brian and I started watching this show. It's called Outer Range. If you heard it,
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
you should start watching it.
Okay.
It's all about Kronos.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, you'll like it. It's a little, so we just started it, so I'm like not sure like exactly where it's going, but so far it's good.
Okay. I'll watch it.
But I have a feeling it has to do with, I mean, because they keep referencing Chronos, so I feel like, you know, it's some sort of like time is fake show.
Yeah. Well, it's funny the amount of shows out there that have like little nuggets that are actually like telling you the truth about reality.
Mhm. Right? So many, and everybody's just like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh, that's funny. That's like, no, that's actually how it works.
Trying to tell you.
Yeah. Like they're trying to wake you up.
Yeah, stop hitting snooze.
Yeah.
Stop snoozing on your life. Stop waiting.
Yes. And I think that's probably a good note to wrap this up. I mean, we've gone way longer than we said we were going to.
Yeah, see, we thought we weren't even gonna have time. I told you we had time because time is fake. Time is what you make it.
It is. It is.
Boom. Mic drop.
Mic
We're done
drop.
now. Thanks for hanging out with us on the Quantum Body Podcast, where we talk about things that really move the needle: gut health, hormone balance, nervous system regulation, mindset, of course, manifesting your dream reality from the inside out.
Like, follow, and subscribe for all things functional health and quantum healing. Want to go deeper with us? You can find us at Instagram at Coach C Wellness, Coach C Wellness, and Crystal_Stretch. Your transformation starts now. Let's rise.